Good morning, fabulous fourth graders, and welcome to another glorious day of virtual learning. Today is Friday. Yay, you made it through the week. I know that this week was a little bit tougher in the beginning. It was for Mrs. Glenn and myself, but we made it through the week and every day just got easier. So today is April 3rd, and some reminders. I strongly, strongly suggest if you do not understand something to please rewatch, rewind, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you do understand it. And as always, you can send me messages. So, I took a cute little picture of our class pets this morning. We have Lightning here who is busy cleaning the house. She is underneath it next to our little LED light. And then, as I'm taking a picture of Lightning, who should show up with a smile? He wanted his picture too. So, there's Thunder. And we are on the same standard as we have been all week, and we're going to continue it. Today, I want to take this time to, again, review everything we've learned up to this point and then jump into some word problems. Yesterday's question of the day is right here. So, if you have been getting the question of the day incorrect, I have been sending it back to you, which I'm sure you have figured out. But you should have also figured out that I give you the answers in these videos. So, there's actually no reason you should get it wrong if you're watching the videos. Now, day 4 says that Brinley, I wanted to point out, you guys see this little red line right here? This means it's spelled incorrectly. And if you right click on that, it'll give you options on how to spell it right. This is spelled correctly because this is the name of my granddaughter, but names can be spelled differently. So computers don't usually like names too much. So day 4 question says Brinley exercises for 3/4 of an hour each day for a week. So let's jump right into this here. All right. How many hours did she exercise in all? So you have 3/4 of an hour each day for a week. Now, you have to think, I only see one number, but there is a word up there that tells you another number. So, a week. A week is 7 days. Sometimes they will say a work week or a school week, and that would be 5 days, Monday through Friday. But a regular week is 7 days. So, she does this for 7 days. So, every single day. So, that means she's going to do it times 7 times. 3/4 times 7. There are different strategies you can use to solve this problem. You can make out 7. I need to make this smaller for you guys. Wrong way. You can make out 7 models. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, which would be 4, 5, 6. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have 7 models. This represents the week. So there's 7 of them. Now I need to cut them in 3/4. Well, I know my benchmark fraction is right here, which is my half point. And then if I cut my halves in half, I will get my 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So I need 3/4 7 times. So I just need this much 7 times. So I don't need this last fourth over here. So there's basically going to be 3 out of 4 plus 3. out of 4 plus another 3, another 3, another 3. There's going to be 7 threes. This is why I say you can multiply straight across and get the same answer, because these are basically like a numerator when it's a whole number, because all you have to do to turn a whole number into a fraction is to put it over 1. 7 wholes is the same thing as 7. So that's why you can just multiply the numerator straight across. So I have 3/4, so I'm basically adding 3 7 times. And if you need to skip count by 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, go right ahead. Or if you know what 3 sevens is here, and you will get 21. 7 times 3 is 21. So you'll have 21. Now the denominator is going to stay the same because we're multiplying. When you are multiplying with fractions, you don't have to change this guy. You just let him be and you just multiply straight across. When you're adding fractions, you have to make sure they're the same, and then you have the same. And I'm going to show you an example of why that is. Okay, so before I show you that, the answer is 21 fourths, which would be the second answer, B, right about there. If you were to say, but Miss Melda, I wanted to make it into a mixed number, that's fine. You would just drop the 21 inside your division box and put your divisor, which is your denominator, on the outside 4. 4 is jumping inside the box, and he's going to pull out as many groups as 4 as possible because that's what he is. He can only pull out what he is. 4 times 5 is 20, and then you're left with 1. So your whole, if you really wanted to change this into a mixed number, would be 5 wholes, and then you're left with 1 part out of 4. So 5 and 1/4 would have been the correct mixed number. If you look at your options over there, I purposely put a 5 and a 5 1/2. I skipped over 5 1/4 just to see if it's almost a good distractor, just to see if you're paying attention to this remainder. There's 1 left over out of 4 that he can pull out. So that's why you get the fraction of 1/4. Now, if you got a 15 fourths, the top answer right here, that might be because you multiplied by 5, thinking a week was 5, as in 5 school days, which could have been the right answer if I put up there during a school week. But it's a full week, which is 7. B is the correct answer. And then a C and E are very close to the correct answer, but not quite. And then 18 fourths. I just chose that because it was a good way to just say, if you were messing up on the different skills, if you were to say the 5 times 3 plus 3, then you would have got that. But distractors or answers are usually um, the answer you would get if you did something incorrectly. So there's never going to be an answer on any kind of test that's just randomly written down. It's purposely thought through to say, well, what if a child did this wrong? And that's how they come up with the incorrect answers, is to say, well, maybe they misunderstood. So I want to show you the difference between adding and multiplying and now. And multiplying and adding are a lot alike. Multiplying and adding, well, multiplication is adding, repeated addition. So this would be like adding, or this could be represented as multiplication. So basically, I have 1/5 3 times. Or I could have wrote it as I have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. This and this are identical. When you add 1/5 three times, this is the unit fraction because you have your 1. When you add 1/5 three times, you leave the denominator alone because that is what it is cut up into. If you think of it as a pie, some kind of pie or pizza or something that you're eating. You might have a slice for dinner. Your parents might each have a slice, and then that would be your 3/5. So when you're adding, you don't mess with the denominator because that's what it's cut up into already. Now, when you're multiplying, you're basically saying you're skip counting.